Hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, today we're going to review this Eufy doorbell camera. Now it has a lot of cool features in it. One of them is that it is a dual camera setup. So it has a main camera that is facing forward, and then it has a downward facing camera specifically to look at your porch or your ground level there for packages. So it has artificial intelligence to detect packages. It does lots of neat features with that as far as detecting them. It has a snapshot of when it was delivered, who delivered it, and then it can guard or watch those, and it will send you alerts if someone comes and takes away the package. It will alert you about that. It can remind you about the packages. It has artificial intelligence. You can pair this with their smart home base that has all types of capabilities for like facial recognition, and you can actually save familiar faces and say, hey, this is my family, or these are friends or neighbors. And then there's also ones that will be like a stranger. It even goes so far that it can actually protect your packages by telling a predetermined message to someone that comes up when you already have a package on your porch there. So some really neat features there. Now it has both 2K resolution for the main camera and 1080p resolution for that lower camera, so really good quality there. It has a good field of view. It has a built-in battery, but it can also accept a wired connection. So it will work with either the wired digital chimes that people have or the old mechanical chimes. There are instructions on how you can make it pretty flexible as far as working with almost any setup that you have. And so I'm going to go through, I'll unbox it, I'll show you the setup in the Eufy app of how you can change different settings, what they do, what are their capabilities. And then of course we'll test it in real world. I have this installed at my house, and I use it daily for many days, if not a few weeks, before I do videos on them. And then I'll tell you what my overall thoughts are on it. I've had several other doorbells, between Ring doorbells, XTU, Reolink stuff. I've actually had some previous Eufy, even one of their previous dual camera one, but this one has some enhanced features. So let me go into what all it can do. Alright, and on this channel I do actually engage with my viewers, and I try to listen and read their comments as well as reply to them if I can. So do put a comment down below if you have a question about something about this camera, or maybe a comment, or even if you found some new information you want to share it with me. Do put it down there, and I do get to those. And then of course hit that thumbs up button right down below on the YouTube video if you enjoy it, and then consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. And then to help you out a little bit in this video, I do put chapters in there, so you can go to a specific section that you want based off what you're trying to find out. Alright, so let's open up the box and see what's inside. Alright, so in the box there is the camera, of course, itself. That one has a detachable battery, and this allows you to take this out, and it does have the charging port on the back side there, so that's just a USB-C that you can use to charge it up if you want to. And then it has the main mounting plate, which is the one that you do need to mount it on. This one goes on the wall by itself, and then you take this unit here and you come in and you clip it from the bottom to the top end. It does have a release feature on the top. I'll show you that in a second here. But then the other piece they do give you is an angle bracket. So it doesn't have a up-down angle bracket, but it does have a side to side. So obviously you can put it either to the left or to the right if you wanted to. And one of the reasons I think it doesn't have a up-down bracket is because that downward-facing camera picks up everything that you have down there. But there are some cases you might actually want an additional downward angle if you have a large flight of stairs or something right outside the door. So something to consider there, that you'll have to shim it yourself. And then in here they have a couple things. One they have is a USB-A to USB-C cable. That's just for charging up the battery. If you have a phone charger or anything else, you can just use that instead. And they do give you two different cables here for hooking up optionally to power. So you don't have to use the battery if you don't want to. There are two terminals here, and this would be to connect it to an existing doorbell power supply. There are instructions on how to configure your existing doorbell to work to charge this up, or sometimes you can get power adapters or something like that if you did not want to rely on the battery. And of course they give you screws to go with it. Then they give you this other tool here. This is a pretty little hefty piece of metal with a magnet on it. The magnet, I assume, is to stick on like the back of a door, which is how I have it at my house. and this is the release tool. So it's both good and bad in that you can't use just a regular screwdriver like some of the other doorbell cameras have, but the bad news is that you do have to keep a hold of this or find something that is sufficiently stiff and long to go in here and release the camera from the mounting bracket. So that's the only way to get this out of the bracket that's screwed to the wall. So you don't want to lose that. That's why there's a magnet on. I guess it go in a fridge or something else. And they do give you a security camera or security sticker to go on there. They give you a mounting plate to help you position it, and then give you a quick start guide. Gives you some information there, which is helpful, that you don't always have to rely on just an app or whatnot. But we're going to go through the app setup. And just for reference here, this camera here, I have a regular Ring doorbell camera. Now, of course, it's in this little house thing that's solar powered. And this actually can work with the Eufy one as well. But just to give you kind of a comparison there in the shape and size, these Ring ones look a little bit wide and stocky. I do like how the Eufy stuff is a little bit more narrow and sleek from a visual standpoint. So for the bottom of it, you have the camera, and that one's kind of a 1080p. The aspect ratio is not a regular 16:9 aspect ratio, so it's roughly a 1080p camera that's downward facing, which is the same resolution as this whole doorbell main camera is. And then it has two LED lights to help light up the ground so you can see the package, or so the camera can see the package actually. And then on here you have your main camera. That is roughly a 2K resolution camera. Again, the aspect ratio isn't quite 16:9, so it's a little bit different. And then on here you have a microphone and you have a light sensor. You also have a couple LEDs on the top so that when it detects someone approaching and has a PIR sensor, then it lights up both the up light and the down light. So it really helps kind of light up the door area, which might be helpful even if you're trying to get keys or something out. I've actually used these lights down here to be able to see to get keys. So let's get this plugged up with the app, get it installed, and then we will see how it performs. Alright, if you don't have the Eufy security app already, then you will need to go ahead and download that and create an account if this is your first Eufy camera. I already have that, so I'm just going to go in here and hit the plus sign, and then I can select the type of camera. Now this one's obviously a video doorbell camera, so I'm going to go to that section first. And then this one is the E340, and so I know that this one is actually this top one here. I'm going to add it to my same home that I'm existing in. Alright, and then on the back of this camera on the bottom there, it's kind of hard to see a little bit because it's not very bright, but there is a QR code. So I'm just going to pull that up to my tablet here. Alright, so now it is connecting the camera to my Wi-Fi. So now the camera, like most of their outdoor devices, it only allows 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So for me, I have my Wi-Fi split, so I do have to change to my 2.4 gigahertz network. Alright, so now I press the sync button for a couple seconds. Alright, there we go. You can see here the blue lights flashing. So this does light up when someone comes up too, which is nice. Alright, so now I have the QR code on the tablet that I need to point the camera towards.
Connecting to the Wi-Fi network. Please wait.
Alright, so now what that did, basically that shared the Wi-Fi username or SSID and password to the camera. So now the camera is going to connect to the Wi-Fi network in my house here. Now this can also pair to a Homebase 2 or Homebase 3, and for that you would set that up separately, but know that right now I'm just connecting it just to my Wi-Fi network in my home, but you can actually get some more features and more storage capacity by hooking it up to a Homebase.
Setup was successful.
Alright, there we go. Now that was successful. That's all you have to do to really get it set up, and now there's some settings in there that you can adjust if you need be, but right now it should be working as a doorbell camera. Alright, just give it a name, and then we will go to the next page. Alright, it has an update, so of course I'll do that. Alright, there we go, it's updated. Okay, so this is where it'll help you set up the camera based off what you have existing. I don't have any wiring there, so I'm going to be purely battery powered unless I throw on my little extra solar panels or whatnot. But eventually I might actually install one of these adapters. So For me, I'm going to tell it no, I don't have it, so it's not going to give me instructions. Otherwise, it would tell me how to hook these up and which ones to use, depending on if you have a connector to go into or if you have just a bare wire that you put the wire nuts on. Alright, so now it has a video that goes through setting it up, how it works, and how when you press that button, you can have your home base be a chime. You can have, Eufy has their own individual chime that's like a little 110 outlet plug-in device that you can have be the chime for inside. You obviously get a notification on the app or your phone that when someone rings the doorbell, and then you can also use things like Alexa actually as a chime. So so any of those are fair game options that you can use. And now it goes through how to position it, obviously how high you want it. You can do a live view here and check if you want to set it up. But I already know how to do that, so I'm going to go get mine installed, and then we'll mess with the actual field of view and if we want to use the angler or not use the angler or whatnot. Alright, so just to finish up the quick setup here, I'm going to go the full effect. I really like that the best in all my Eufy stuff, and that is it gives you the quickest notification it can, which is just sending a text, and then maybe a second or two later, sometimes it might maybe 5 seconds even, before you get the actual snapshot or thumbnail of what it saw and why it detected motion to alert you. But I like having those separately because it gives you the quickest notification, but then you still get a picture as soon as it's available. If you do the include thumbnail one, the middle one, it will wait until the thumbnail is available before it sends you the notification. So it's a little bit slower. So to me, the full effect is the best way to go. Now for me, I'm out in the boonies and my house is like 1,000 feet away from the road, so I don't get any passerbys or people on the sidewalk, that kind of stuff. So I typically do the frequent motion detection. Yes, it's worse for battery, but for me, it's typically the best performance. Okay, here's what I was talking about earlier. These are your 3 different chime options that you can have. And then, of course, like I said, the app as well will also notify you, but it won't exactly be a chime. Alright, so this is some neat features that they have in there. This is where they're really taking the dual camera a step further, because it creates an event now when a package gets delivered and then when it gets picked up, and it gives you pictures and it gives you a notification, or in the timeline of when the events happen, it color codes different types of events, different colors, so it's easy for you to tell, hey, here's when the package was dropped off, here's when the package was picked up. Hopefully it was by someone that you knew that picked it up, but if not, this would highlight it and make it easy to find where the package left the porch. Now you can also add familiar faces to this so that you can do the facial recognition and actually notify you of who was there. Alright, so here's what it looks like for the live view. You get to see both of these cameras all at once, which is a really neat feature, but then you can also hit the button to expand one view or the other. Alright, well, let's get it installed and then we'll mess with some more settings. Alright, so now we can go into the setup here. You can see the doorbell is right here. I did not charge the battery up like they told you to, but it gives you a little preview of the main screen as well as the looking down view at the bottom there. Mine is at an angle for the mounting. We can go in here to the settings and we can just see what it has. So first off, we'll go to the motion detection. You can say, yep. You can do the activity zone. So and there's one for each camera, right? So let's start with the front view activity zone. Now it's going to load a live view, and then I'm going to select what I want for the live view, and I can add different, starts out as kind of hexagons there, but you can then drag these and pick what you want. So if there's something that you don't want to detect, you can just not have it inside one of these shaded areas. You can have up to 3 of these. For me, I'm going to leave it as everything, so I'm just going to delete that one and leave it as is and go back. But you can do the same thing for the porch view, and I think this one does probably help a little bit more for it to define where you want it to look for a package. So that one I have found it actually helpful to draw it out based off where packages might end up being on your porch, and that just helps it look for that kind of area. Alright, so that looks pretty good for me. Alright, so now we can go in here and we can change the detection type. You can have it detect only humans if you want to, which is probably a decent idea, or you can have it for all motion, and then you can adjust the sensitivity based off of when does it actually get detected. I'm going to probably make mine a little bit higher than medium, again, because I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere. The only types of people that come up are people that are visiting the house, pretty much. Alright, Power Manager, I've already done this. I did the optimal surveillance. You can see my battery is low, so probably is a problem. I probably should charge it up. Delivery Guard, this is what's going to notify you when a package is actually delivered, and then it can keep it, kind of keep track of it basically when it moves. So here, it's really saying it needs to be rectangular in shape. It really needs to be around 10 inches or larger. And so if it's some oddball or one of those bags, then it probably won't detect it very well. So this is where it tells you activity zone. I already did that, so we're already set there. And then if there's an object in front of your house, you can tell it to ignore it. So my floor mat, for example, I might want to tell it to actually ignore that floor mat. So I haven't done the ignore object thing in the past, and I have used Eufy's doorbell detection before, so I'm going to try not doing it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then maybe that's a new feature that they added to help it, so I'll keep track of that. And then here you can have it actually talk to a person when they come up and there's already a package. Now this is kind of interesting because I get lots of packages. Some days I might have FedEx, Amazon, UPS all come on the same day, which means the second or the third person delivering is going to get this alert that says, hey, don't touch my package. Yeah, so you can actually add a quick response there and have it tell whatever you want when someone approaches the door. Alright, here's another cool feature. If you leave a package out past a certain time, you can actually have it alert you. So, this works for people that never go to their front door and maybe didn't realize the package was delivered. This can actually be set up to alert you at a certain time of day that, hey, you still have a package outside. So you can turn that on and activate what time of day you want it to alert you. So that's kind of a cool feature. Alright, so here's just another method that it alerts you if someone comes up when you have a package delivered. Alright, familiar faces. This is something that you can do. You have to check this, agree to the facial recognition terms, but you can have it enable faces. So I can actually add my face manually right now, and it will take a picture of me. Let's see if I can switch the camera around. Alright, so now it has my picture, and it's going to use artificial intelligence to detect me and alert me if there is my face detected. I can add friends and families, and now you obviously want to get their permission before you take their picture or give it to Eufy to use for their recognition. But once you have those in there, then it can tell you who it detected. Response settings. This is where you can tell it to do a quick response automatically, or you can tell it to do an automatic voice response whenever someone comes up to ring the doorbell. Indoor chime. This is where I can add some indoor chimes. So I can add lots of things. Home base, Alexa, existing door chime. All these different things are ones you can add. Video settings. This is where you can have it for
1800doorbell.com.
Alright, so color night vision just means that it turns on the upper lights instead of the infrared lights. I typically like the infrared light better. You can change the dual view mode between the split mode or if it's just single mode. I like the way it's actually set up by default. You can turn off the watermark. The quality here, you can set the recording quality by default is the 2K, so the highest that it can be. But you can also adjust the streaming quality. So the streaming quality will auto adjust based off of how good your connection is. If you want to force it to 2K, then you can do that. Alright, so here's some settings that really is going to be favoring either your Google device like I have back there or your phone. So this one is a smart display first, which is going to be lower quality. So I can actually tell it, we can test it here. Show me the E340 doorbell camera.
Got it. Streaming the E340 doorbell.
Alright, there we go. So I just set this up about 10 minutes ago, and I didn't do anything because I already had my Google Assistant linked with Eufy, and it just works and it shows me that main view right there on the display. Alright, so you can also add privacy zones. This will just always black out that part of the field of view so it doesn't record. So if it's looking over at maybe a neighbor's house or something like that and you want to black it out so that you never jeopardize recording something you don't want to record, then you can add a privacy zone into there. Alright, here are the notification settings where you can have it for doorbell or motion detect. When you click on it, it'll tell you, do you want to go to the recorded event or do you want to go to live view? And then we go talk about the most efficient or thumbnail type views, and then also the tones. You can adjust the sound that it plays through your device. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the settings. Let's have it do a couple recordings. Alright, so after using it for about a week here, I am actually really impressed with it. The video quality is very good, especially at night, when I have it at just using the infrared light. Now, to be fair, I do have some porch lights that I do have on all the time at nighttime, so that probably helps it some, but it's very clear and crisp nighttime footage. And then the ability to only record or notify you based off of the artificial intelligence picking up, say, a human or a pet or some other objects like that, then that really helps cut down on the false alerts, which is nice because I have so many cameras that if they were all going off every time leaves blew or the shadows moved, then my phone would just be buzzing nonstop. So I do like that ability to try to tone it down. Now let me show you one example where the delivery person was really kind of an edge case, I would say. And then they actually ended up making 3 different trips back into their car, probably because they're on the phone the whole time talking to someone. But they deliver a package to my door, they go back to their car, the camera stops recording, but because I had it on pick back up motion rapidly and re-record, I was actually impressed because it did re-record when the person got out of the car, and then they grabbed a second package, they brought that to the door, they went back, the footage stopped again once that motion stopped briefly, and then they got back out and he put a third package down, and it detected all of those, and it also detected that a package was put down the porch. So I thought that really proved out that their software does work well there for that detection. Now, not to say that there aren't some bugs here and there, and this is a newly released product, so I did have a couple instances here or there where maybe some glitches, but I've seen that on lots of products, and I have had Eufy products for years now across my property. Many of these I buy myself, I install, and I use them as my security cameras. They've definitely improved or added features over time that I've been very happy with. So I'm sure this product is along that same vein, where I have a lot of faith that it's going to work for my needs, and the number of settings they have for you to adjust based on what you need as far as the detection, the motion zones, and even the privacy zones they have. And then all these new features with the doorbell one, which a lot of their other cameras don't have, as far as the package protection, the auto responses that happen if someone comes up and there's already a package there, all kinds of neat stuff. I really do like it. I think it's a neat camera, so I look forward to having this one. This one now is going to be my main doorbell camera that's on the front door, and I'm going to use it for as long as it lasts. Alright, well, if I didn't answer any of your questions that you still have, please put them down below in the comment section. I will try to read those and get back to them. So thanks for watching as always, and then stay tuned for more.